Happy Wednesday, Georgian Bay. Welcome to this week's episode of The Scoop, your backstage pass to the people, stories, and conversations shaping our community. I'm Katerina, Kova, and I'm so excited to introduce the three incredible guests we have lined up for you today. But first, let's say hello to my fabulous co-hosts, Janene and Nadia. Ladies, hello. How was your week? What did you get up to?
I enjoyed sleep.
Yeah.
Okay. I enjoyed sleep because I need to rejuvenate after a long week. And sleeping in a cute little onesie.
You do not sleep in a onesie.
100%.
Yeah.
Like with the little deer antler.
Listen, you do what you do. Okay. You do what you
Now
do.
I'm picturing you in a little cute outfit. This is so cute.
With the
Just
tail.
like cozied up and just curled up in a little ball.
Get yourself a cute onesie and bundle up in the weather and just be in the moment and enjoy your sleep.
Okay. Noted. Yeah.
I am clearly doing something wrong because my life either moves at like 1,000 million miles an hour or I'm like Grey's Anatomy couch rot. Like there's no in between. No.
Living on the extremes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm musical directing and writing a teen musical, an original cabaret and play, and you know, kids with their extracurriculars and animals and just cleaning. So much cleaning.
It never ends.
No, but I mean, in my house with 6 animals, if I haven't vacuumed or swept like 3 times in a day, it looks like I've done nothing all day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
What about you?
Not very much cleaning. Not very much sleeping. A lot of painting though. Painting. Yeah, working on a commission for a client right now, and it's a portrait of him holding his cat in an imperial costume. He just wanted like a really something that would brighten up his day looking at it every day, and it's just been a lot of fun to paint. But my commissions, my oil paintings take months to do, so it takes about a week in between each layer to dry. So I work on multiple pieces. I have 7 or 8 going right now, so I can do a couple layers, put them aside. You have to wait for that long period to dry. So
literally waiting for
paint
and dry.
Yes, yeah.
Lots of ups and downs.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the ups and downs of the week, here's a question for you both. Okay? Do you think it's okay to let a little drama into your life, or should it stay on the stage where it belongs?
Ooh, what do you think, Nadia?
I don't know. I'm so over the drama. I have enough drama coming in with my teenagers that I feel like I don't need my own personal drama.
Yeah.
So I say it stays on the stage, please, where it belongs. What about you?
How about you?
Right, exactly. On the stage. I don't want it around me. Keep it. Keep it. No.
Yeah. I used to like it, maybe just because I have a lot of wonderful friends that naturally bring that kind of life in. Now I just need peace and harmony. I still love those friends dearly, and I still welcome that when it comes. But from myself, no way. Just that's why I act. I love it in a contained, controlled environment where you can let it go, and it's the beauty and that playfulness of it, but it doesn't do any damage to anybody, including to your own sanity. So yeah, definitely keep it on the stage, keep it on the screen, and enjoy like a peaceful, harmonious existence. Otherwise,
I hear you. Yeah. Well, whether you love it or hate it, our first guest knows all about drama. After the break, we're chatting with a fantastic local theater company that's helping people of all ages take center stage. Stick around.
Oh my God, very exciting. Yeah. And welcome back to The Scoop. We're kicking things off with a guest who knows drama in the best way possible. Please welcome Raciunas, Associate Producer and Education Program Coordinator at Theatre Collingwood.
Hello. And welcome, Anne.
And tell us a little bit about Theatre Collingwood's education programs. What inspired them and what makes them so unique?
Well, Theatre Collingwood has been Collingwood's established theatre company for more than 40 years now.
Oh, wow.
We actually celebrated our 40th anniversary in 2024. And throughout that time, there have been many different administrations and programs that support their theatrical productions. And arts education programs has always been a part of that in some way. But it has certainly evolved over the years. So what makes our current program special is that we have programs dedicated to the youth in our community. You know, for many, many years, we have held week-long day camps over March break and in the summer times. But we have also grown to include programming for adults and seniors specifically. And what makes our approach unique, I do feel, is that we exist in our Georgian Bay area in a very personal way. So that kind of goes across our company in all ways. We put a heavy emphasis on customer service and connecting with people and not being, you know, a switchboard at the end of a phone call. And that mission kind of influences and has created the culture around the education program specifically. We want to be this front-facing organization that allows people to connect on a personal level. So that's what makes it unique. The emphasis on adult and senior programming is also something that is sort of special to what we do. That was kind of born out of the pandemic, I will say. We had always done our youth programming and had a heavy emphasis on making sure that there were these special spaces for kids. But when the pandemic hit, you know, our core demographic, what were these adults and seniors? And we started to see how they were just impacted by the loss of their community. And we thought we have to do something to sort of bring us back together when we are able to. And that's how the other part of our education programs was really born.
That's so beautiful. Yeah. What about the impact that you've seen, not just on the children, but also on the adults and seniors since that time, since these new programs have emerged?
I mean, it's amazing. It really is what makes my job worth doing is the ability to see people engage with the arts on a local level and grow through them. So I am very, very lucky that I get to see new crops of kids come in, especially year after year, but also see returning children that develop and sort of bloom and very often find their people. I think probably around this table there are arts people and theater kids who very much know what that feels like. Because, you know, Collingwood is wonderful and diverse, and people flock to this area for good reason, but a lot of it is often like recreational and sports heavy. And things like Theatre Collingwood's programs give kids that maybe aren't as into that sort of thing a place to go. And creating space for those kids, and then as we've evolved for those adults and seniors as well, is very much why we do what we do.
That's so beautiful. It is a really important thing to have, because it's true. We have communities of different types of children and adults, and the arts are crucial to developing those, especially finding others that also love it, so then they can grow together.
Yeah, and it presents its own challenges, you know, often in the arts. You know, your gender balance is skewed. We get tons of, you know, little girls flocking out, but we might have like one boy in our program. So like there's still this interesting thing that happens where people show up on the first day and it's like, is this for me? You know, am I in the right place? But no matter who you are welcome in arts spaces. And that is, you know, more or less across the board, but certainly in Collingwood. So that is always kind of a treat for me and I say that regarding the kids, but it really doesn't matter, you know, first days for seniors, adults, or kids, you're always full of jitters, you're always full of nerves, you know, am I gonna be comfortable here? And it is amazing how quickly people relax into that environment of, oh, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be.
That's perfect, because I was just about to ask of what can the adults expect? Because usually kids can dive in easier because they're starting with a lot of new things, so they're a little bit more comfortable with that. As adults, we're a little bit more set in our ways, and while we want to try new things, sometimes it can be a little bit daunting. But with a welcoming environment, what other things can they expect from just being a complete beginner at something?
Well, we do spend a lot of energy and time making sure that our programs are a very comfortable and beginner-safe place to be. We create low-pressure environments that you still have an expectation you're going to get something really special out of it. Our instructors are local but very skilled people. Our programs really shine a light on the talent that is already here. We don't have to bring in people from Toronto. Like, I can look around and because of our 40-year history, we're very blessed that we have a lot of connections and we know who's here. So we are able to really benefit from these incredibly skilled instructors. So people that are adults and seniors coming in know that they're getting, a top quality product. You read some of the biographies and you're like, oh my goodness. But at the same time, I spend a lot of time making sure people understand that when you come into one of our rooms, you're not going to be put on the spot. You're not going to be thrown to the wolves, really, because it is vulnerable to even take the chance of walking into a room and trying something new, especially when it's something in the vein of a performing art, where you might, hypothetically could be on a stage in front of people. So I become a big broken record that, like, we offer low pressure environments, welcoming environments. We are willing to adjust to what our students need in order to make sure that they have the best possible experience. And for me, a big part of my job is that balancing act, because what ultimately ends up happening is people do enjoy it, and they find themselves, they find their friends at all ages, and then they want to do more and they want to build on that. So part of my job is, okay, I want to give them a chance to evolve through the program and go past the beginner stage, but I always want to have that space for newcomers to feel really comfortable and really safe. So, and that's why they have me around, because that's my job. So, but it is a balancing act for sure. Yeah.
Speaking of balancing acts, you have a lot of different programs, from tap dancing to burlesque. What's the response been to this eclectic mix of offerings that you guys have?
It's been a great response. So yes, the adult programs have really developed in the last 2 or 3 years. It used to be more of programming exclusively offered to the youth in our community. What I've tried to do as sort of is set a standard that Theatre Collingwood will offer adult sessions in the spring and the fall, leaving room for, the majority of our on-stage programming to happen in the summer months and a little bit of a break, over the holidays. So we have a variety of classes. I try to introduce at least one new class every seasonal session. Oh, wow. So in the spring and the fall, we offer 4 programs for adults and seniors, but it's always sort of this cycle where people are, as I mentioned, sort of progressing through something that we may have had on the roster for a while, or trying something completely new. And the response is great, because we do try to have a diverse range of classes. So some are strictly, performing, and some might be movement classes that are more in the dancing vein. But it lends itself well, because we want someone to look at our roster and go, okay, maybe I'm not, like, all 4 of these might not be for me, but one of them will be. Right. So that is what I aim for. So yeah, for example, right now, coming up, we're starting our spring session in April. So we have an intro to improv class, which is a new model. We're trying something. We're constantly trying to try new things and see what works with the people in our community. So this improv one we've actually run before, but this time, for the first time, it's a drop-in series. So people, it's even lower pressure. It's like, I don't have to sign up for an entire class, but I can try this and see if I like it, and then I might come back for the future sessions. We're bringing back, we have Burlesque for Daring Dames, which is a burlesque class.
Oh my God.
Specifically geared
toward.
toward.
Take a class.
And there are some amazing burlesque classes in this area and in Stayner and surrounding, but this one is geared towards mature adults.
Oh,
So it's
amazing.
open to all adults,
Yeah.
but it is tailored so that retired people specifically
That's amazing. Yeah.
can come out and have a really great experience. So those are our 2 movement classes. Or actually, they're not. I said improv. That was not one. Sorry.
Well, you can.
So yes,
you can.
You will be moving
it.
it.
In improv,
Yeah.
so I guess it could technically.
You will be moving it improv, but no, burlesque is our movement class. We're bringing back Mastering the Art of Storytelling, which we've run several times, which is a class that allows people to just become more comfortable telling a story from beginning, middle to end, whether that is meant to be in front of a crowd of people on a talk show or around the dinner table at home. So it is a class that is sort of a universal skill that people can really benefit from having. And then the new class this year is we are introducing Broadway sing-along. So we've never done this one before. It's been very popular so far. We were actually running 2 sessions, and again, it's for people who love singing, but maybe don't know where to start in learning how to sing in a skilled way. So it's like, I would love to audition for one of the amazing community theaters in our area, but I'm absolutely terrified when there's a qualifier that I have to get up and audition with a song. Where do I start? Well, this is a place where you can come and sing in a group and learn technique.
Show tunes.
And it's fun. And it's fun because it's show tunes. So those are our 4 that are coming up in the spring. And I guess your original question is how have people responded? And ultimately, very, very well.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes people are nervous, as we talked about, to jump in, but we always get feedback that it was a really special experience for them, which I'm proud of. So yeah.
That's really beautiful. Any last little bit of advice for anyone that does still have those nerves, is still a little bit hesitant to dive in and try something new?
Well, I would love to, I'm always here to talk to people if they want to learn more about the programs before they make that commitment. But I would encourage people to take the chance. I have been doing this for several years now, and I've literally never heard anyone say, why did I do this? I've only ever heard them say, like, why didn't I do it sooner?
Right.
So that would be my words of encouragement is just give it a try. And if it doesn't happen to be for you, like, we are willing to work with you. You know, that is what we pride ourselves on at Theatre Collingwood is our connection with the people in our community.
Amazing.
So beautiful. I want to take all of these classes now. I'm so intrigued. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you so much for being on the show today. And thank you for sharing your love of drama and everything that you do for
Thank
the
you so much for
with
having
arts.
me.
Thank
I really
you
appreciate
so
it.
much.
I really appreciate it.
And speaking of community, you won't want to miss our next guest. He spent years working inside the correctional system, and he's here to share some of the powerful lessons he's learned, along with a few insights on keeping our community safe. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Welcome back to The Scoop. It's time for our Let's Talk About It segment, where we shine a light on the conversations that matter most in our community.
Our next guest has spent years working in corrections and transportation, 2 fields that are all about safety, responsibility, and navigating tough situations.
Please welcome Shane MacLaughlan. He is here to talk about community safety, share some lessons from his time working in the system, and offer insights into how we can play a part in keeping our community strong and safe.
Well, thank you.
Shane, thank you so much
Strong
for
and
being
safe.
on our show today.
Thank you for having me.
You have a unique perspective on community safety. Tell us about your work, past work.
Well, I can tell you that I came from a police family. A father, 2 brothers, brother-in-law, all worked for the RCMP, and my sister worked in the crime lab. So it started there, and then I started in corrections in Alberta. It used to be that my parents or my father would say, and my brothers would say something about, well, we arrest them, but then Shane babysits them for the next little while, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah.
You're talking about babysitting. For those of us raising kids in this world, which, you know, can feel overwhelming, a little scary, what tips do you have, or what do you think makes the biggest difference when it comes to keeping them safe?
Well, I think with kids, certainly, and I'll speak to something in specific. I had a young offender male say to me, that he wished his parents would have said no sometimes. They didn't care enough to say no. It was a message that he was left with. So as parents, and I have 3 children, and we try to be their best friend, and that's really not what we should be doing. We've got to set that structure and those boundaries, because that's how kids thrive. At that time, we used to monitor phone calls when they would phone their parents at home, and sometimes I could tell, and we would listen to those, as I said, monitor them, and sometimes it was no surprise that the child was like he was, because they got very little attention on the other end. When are you going to come out so you can go buy me a pack of smokes? It was just awful. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's every parent's worst nightmare. To think that that's where your child's direction might take them. Ultimately, it's their life, their choice. But I do believe that as parents, it's our job to start setting those boundaries at a quite young age, and and as you said, we're not there to
We're
be
not there to be their
their
friends at all.
friends. We're there to be their parents, their teachers.
Exactly. And I think it's also important to get your kids involved in something. Whether, you've had guests on here from theater, Colin, get them involved in theater, get them involved in sports. If they have a feeling that they belong to something, they're less likely to get into trouble.
Right. And also they feel, that they have something to work towards. Is there anything that has sort of shaped the way you view safety in the community?
Well, in dealing with the inmates, it's a matter of, I always said your best weapon as a correctional officer is your mouth, not your fist. That just doesn't work. And I think it's important to understand that they're coming to you and you're seeing them in their lowest of low. They're behind bars. Often they're crying because they got to this place. They don't know how they got to this place, and it's really heart-wrenching. So my job is not to make that worse for that person. It's to be sort of, we're not social workers as correctional officers, but it's okay to have a heart.
Are there any tips for safety? Just, I know we feel safe in our bubble of Collingwood, but nobody's immune to danger. And are there any
Well,
tips?
I'm going to guess that none of you are old enough to know Bewitched. Do you remember the show Bewitched? Oh, you do?
Little nose.
Well, there was a woman in Bewitched, the nosy neighbor. Do you remember her, called Mrs. Kravitz? Yeah. I think that community safety starts with that, to tell you the truth. It's okay. If you have a Mrs. Kravitz or a Mr. Kravitz in your neighborhood, encourage that. Or if you don't, you should be that one, because I think it's important
Keeping
that
your eye on the neighbors.
Yeah, kind of. You can go too far sometimes, I guess, but it's okay if you, and I've heard this from police departments, see something, say something. If you see something that looks unusual, there's somebody riding a bicycle at 3 o'clock in the morning with a hoodie on in the middle of summer when it's hot, open your eyes, because quite often they're in and out doing no good. And so I think, it's important to see something, say something. Sure.
I love that. And I always keep my lights on. I don't know about anybody else at this table.
How many times have we seen videos on TV where you'll see the criminal come up and he tries your door. So it's locking your doors, keeping your lights on. They work under the cover of darkness. They don't really want to be exposed. So simple thing like, at least my father always said, turn the light off, it cost me 10 cents. But we were taught to flick the light off. That's the best security you can have, is to leave your light on all night long out front and lock your doors. Because I too have spoken with criminals and they'll say, we just target, we'll just go along. I won't waste my time trying to break into a car. I'm going to find the people that leave their cars open, and it happens all the time, and nothing feels worse than being violated. It's your personal property that they rummage through. And you might think, oh, I left this in the car overnight, it's not a big deal, and then it's gone in the morning. So, never do that. Exactly.
So you hear that? Leave your lights on, lock your doors, and maybe get a ring cam.
Yeah.
That's such a good idea, because, again, they will say, I've heard inmates say that had they seen that kind of protection cameras or sign, they stay away.
Yeah.
And it's funny because a lot of the times, we can see a rock on the moon millions of miles away, but we can't see a good clear shot of somebody, at your front door. And so technology has to step up a little bit more to prevent that from happening.
And maybe if we keep our lights on, they can be illuminated better.
That's right. Lights on, somebody is home. Not lights on, nobody's home.
Well, Shane, thank you so much for being here and for sharing such an important message and
wonderful tips and tricks. It is a powerful reminder that community safety isn't just about what we lock up, but it's about how we show up for each other.
So be that good neighbor. Look out for one another.
Be a Mrs. Kravitz.
Be a Mrs. Kravitz.
Up next, we're shifting gears into something a little more creative. After the break, we'll be joined by a local producer, dance instructor, and choreographer whose work has been seen all over Georgian Bay and far beyond.
Awesome. Oh my goodness.
Welcome back to The Scoop. Our next guest is a powerhouse of creativity and movement.
From working with the Chinese Paralympic snowboard team to creating inclusive performance spaces right here in our own backyard, she brings passion, purpose, and artistry to everything she does. Please welcome Erin McAndrew of E.M.Creative Productions.
We're dancing on, right? Yeah. Okay. Amazing.
Erin, what an entrance. No better entrance for a dancer. Okay, so listen, Erin, your work blends dance with fitness, wellness, and even spiritual practice, right?
Yeah.
How do you approach teaching in a way that feels inclusive and empowering for all types of students?
I think, I think ultimately we all want to always feel safe in our bodies. And so creating a space that is safe and that empowers people to be where they're at, meet people where they're at, and feel comfortable sharing that. Every class or experience that I've ever been part of, I feel like I'm learning as much from the students as they are from me. And I think approaching it with that type of a lens, that each person you meet is your teacher. And that is, such a beautiful thing. There's always something to learn about, people's bodies. Our bodies are all different and unique. We all have different stories. We all have come from a different space. And learning that unique story of each body is a gift.
Okay, so you've traveled the world teaching and performing, including working with the Chinese Paralympic snowboard team as your strength and conditioning coach, which is so amazing. But you've also been incredibly active here in Georgian Bay art scene. So what kind of projects or collaborations have meant the most to you locally?
Yeah, I think locally, starting Viva Variety was a really exciting collaboration, and inclusivity are at the heart of everything that I do and that Viva Variety does. So it's a not-for-profit organization that produces art showcases for emerging artists and seasoned performers. So it really came out of a place where, as a performing artist growing up and still, working professionally, the costs associated with putting on a performance, a full-fledged, is often prohibitive. And sometimes as performance artists, you might have an inclination of, I just have this piece. I want to explore this, but I don't have a full show yet together. And so sort of removing some of those barriers where people are then able to explore different ideas, try out something different, and they aren't responsible for, producing an entire show. So that was kind of the goal, and creating more opportunities for local performing artists to develop and hone that craft while getting to perform alongside these professionals who live here, who may not be actively working as much as they once did when they were living in bigger city centers, but still have so much to offer and collaborate. And there's been so many interesting pieces that have come about based on people meeting each other through this process, and creative ideas that get sparked. And isn't that what it's all about?
Yeah. So what really drew you to the power of dance movement?
Great question. I think, I grew up in a house with music. So my father is a musician. There was always music around. So I was dancing from the minute that I sort of arrived on this earth. It's told in my household that I was producing shows from a very early age. Any child who came to our house was welcomed into, or directed gently to please, here's your role, and we'll be putting on a show. And yeah, very much. So I think that was always just something that was there, and I'm grateful that my parents were able to sort of recognize that and say, like, let's give you some of these tools to express what is clearly in your soul. So I'm grateful that they were able to do that, and I think, moving forward, and a lot of the work that I try to continue to do is making sure that everybody has that access, that the arts are accessible, and people are able to get these tools and are access, what exists in their body and able to tell their stories. I teach, so I teach with Active Arts in Wasaga Beach. They have a studio in Wasaga Beach and Thornbury. And then I also teach independently with Melissa Vincent James. So we do an intermediate dance classes. So it's sort of for intermediate advanced dancers, anybody who has a dance history or, a dance background. And that's been a really exciting sort of new class to get up and running here in Collingwood. Everybody's always welcome, dance is for everyone.
I feel like there might be some dance in our future, ladies. But first, we have a game.
Yes, that we do. It's called What's in the Bag. And here's how it works. One of us will reach into the bag without looking and describes what we feel. Ooh, I love the colors. No peeking and no naming. So we just want to describe the textures, the shapes, and the vibes.
Okay.
The rest of us have to guess what is in it based on your description. Okay. So, as you are the guest.
Oh, I get to go first?
You will reach and we will guess.
I'm so excited.
Oh
okay.
And by the way, none of us know what's in this. No. So this is a complete surprise for all of us. So remember, just texture, feelings, whatever.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's feeling squishy and rubbery and I think I know what it is. What happens? Okay.
No, you don't.
Okay, so it feels like it's something that you might find in the ground, but this is a squishy version of that.
In the ground.
In the ground, that would be that robins like to eat.
A worm?
A worm? A rubber worm?
It's feeling like that. When do I get to pull it out?
Pull it out.
And there's other little things on it. Oh my!
So you were
okay. So these are not candy.
So these
no, we cannot eat this.
It's a treat for the eyes only.
Yeah.
Wow.
What does it feel like?
Definitely a squishy something.
Everything starts out squishy.
I feel, what is that, a leg? It feels smooth.
Okay.
Okay, hold on, I need to remove. Okay, it feels, okay. It feels like it's a toy animal of some sort.
Okay.
This could be a nose.
Most of them have that.
It's squishy.
It's right there.
You are allowed to squeeze it.
It's snorted.
Do we get to keep these?
I mean,
do you want to?
that one's, I would want to keep
That one's
him.
all yours.
I'm telling you. My dog would have that in a heartbeat.
Yes, exactly.
Adorable.
All right. I'll go.
Okay, you go for it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Toss the paper.
I'm not looking.
Recycle. Reduce.
Okay.
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 Oh, there's a bell.
This one is also squishy with some squiggly guys coming out of the end.
Squiggly
Okay.
guys coming out the end.
Yeah. But when I squeeze it, it's like filled with sand.
Oh, it's like one of
those like
like
stress,
heat
like a
pads.
stress ball octopus.
Yeah, that's what it feels like, a stress ball
Okay.
with
like tentacles.
Oh wow! That's
didn't
really
get that one.
that's really
Octopus.
fun.
Okay.
Okay. Last one.
Last one. We got this.
Okay, there's definitely a little jingly bell. There is something with a feather.
Feather. That sounds like a cat toy to me.
It does sound, it feels a little bit like something along the cat toy lines.
Yeah.
There's,
Okay, cat
it's
toy.
not in here.
It's a
Um,
bell, a fork.
it is
Like
definitely
a
metallic,
ball?
and it has a smooth main body,
Okay. Is it a bird?
like
Like
one of those things that when you push off, it comes back to you, like when those little kid dolls are. You know, the ones that like are always upright.
They
fall.
the cat one,
Yeah.
they go like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah?
Like
So that's the
counterbalance.
base.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's a bell and some feathers.
Okay, so it's a
It feels like
knock 'em over bird.
No.
Oh, it was inside.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Awesome.
Wow.
These things, you know,
These
like,
are.
I think they fooled us. After this break, we'll be back to do some dancing with Erin McAndrew.
Welcome back. We've got our dynamic fans, and we are so ready to pick up the choreography.
Woo-woo! Okay, so fanography first, things we want to think about. Think of this fan as like an extension of your body, okay? So it is part of you. Make one with your fan, okay? If you drop your fan, it's okay. You just keep going. Your fan understands. So you're going to want to hold it with your thumb here against the back. This is how I do it. You might find a different way, and that's totally okay. I put the base of it in the palm of my hand. I put my thumb here, and then I pinch my finger here. And then I'm going to use this to close it and open it. Close it and open it. Shout out to Blue Mountain Pride for these sweet, sweet fans. Thank you for always repping the great gear. Okay, that work? Okay, so we've got it opening and closing. We've got it. We've got the basics. Awesome. So the first thing we're going to do, we are going to hit 4 strong poses. Okay, so you just need to hit a really strong pose. Okay, a strong pose. Give me a strong arm, a strong pose, a strong pose. Okay, so keep it nice and sharp and strong and live your life. So we're going to hit 4 really strong poses. Then we're going to open it up and we're going to do a big sunshine open bursting moment. Okay. So this is like, feel the sunshine. Yes, feel the sunshine. And if the rings drop, you got it. Yes, let it open and feel beautiful. And we're going to come all the way down. Good. We gather it back up and we're going to reach out to the side. Find somebody over there. You say like, come over here to me. Reach it out. Yes. And then we reach with the other arm. You come over here to me. Okay. We're crushing this. Amazing. So, should we put that all together? Yeah. Okay, so we start with our 4 strong poses. We hit a pose, and a pose, and a pose, and a pose. Good sunshine, up high, big sunshines, good job. Gather it all the way down. Now I'm closing my fan. I'm gonna reach it out. You over there, come here. And hey, you, come over here. Good job. Give me a like, chase the blues away. Like, no more to the drama, no thank you, whatever that means for you, okay? So you could be here, whatever it means. You're like, no thank you, bye-bye, okay? So that's the vibe and energy. So everybody's gonna be a little different. We love that, okay? Now, the last little bit. We're ready? You guys are learning this really quickly, by the way. Okay, you're kind of profesh. Love it. Okay, so we're going to take our feet nice and wide apart. We're going to do a clack to the side with a hip. So we do 2 clacks, okay? So you've got clack and clack. Good job. How are we doing? No! Everybody drops a fan. It's okay. We're going to go again. So let's go up high, and you're going to go clack it and clack it. Good job. So when we do the clacks up high, we don't have to hit it as hard as we can. You're kind of doing like a soft one. Did I just hit it as hard as I can and break my fan? That's okay. No problem. Okay, so our fan's up high. We go clack and clack. Now I want you to close your fan and look at it, and then open it up to the front. Good, nice stretch lines. And then we do a big circle and in. Ooh, let's do that again. It's so nice. So we clack up high. We go 1 and 2, close the fans. Look at it, open it up, and circle and in. Ooh, good job. Can I add on a little bit more? Oh my goodness, amazing. Let's grab onto the fan like this, okay? So we're holding it this way. You're gonna take your hip out to the right, and you're going all the way around to the other side. Good. It's super sassy and fun. Work those shoes, yes. Okay, so once our hips come all the way around, now you're going to lean forward and open it up like a magazine, okay? And you're gonna go all the way around to the other side, like you are reading some juicy gossip, okay? So open that up, take it all in. We get to the other side, and now you're gonna bop it like, that was too hot to handle. Yes, oh, we living for this. Yes, y'all. Okay, to finish, and then we are almost all the way through. You're gonna bring it in, and you're gonna pop it. So you're gonna go in, back, in, back. Good, to finish, we're gonna walk around ourselves. So you do a little step around yourself, a 3-count walk turn, and you're gonna give me a big clack to the front and like work it, give us your full face. Yes, full face, full fantasy, full fantasy. See what we did there? Fanography. See what we did there? Okay, so shall we try that? Yeah. Do you want to try it with music? Yeah. I think we should do it. You are ready. Absolutely. And when in doubt, just freestyle, have fun, bring your own sassy vibes. Because that's what fanography is all about. All right. DJ, EJ, hit it. Woo! Ooh, okay, 4 strong poses. Are you ready? Here we go. Hit a strong pose. 2, 3, and 4. Sun. All the way down. Reach that right arm. And left arm. Good, now chase it away. Clack it up high. 2, close it. Circle. Step it out. Around. In. Go around. Big clack. Yay! Give us a little freestyle. Let's give it up. Hey! Hey!
That is all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us at The Scoop. Thank you to our guests, Anne Raciunas, Shane MacLaughlan, and Erin McAndrew for being with us today.
So, what's the scoop, Georgian Bay? You tell us. If you've got an event, story, or a local business we should know about, pop us off an email or drop a comment below. We'd love to feature you.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.